Hey everyone, I'm the Casual Prince, and welcome to the 50 subscriber special Q&A episode. I am very excited to get into this, so I'm not going to ramble on like I usually do, at least not in the early part of the video, and we are going to get straight on with the questions. So, we have a question from Animation Fan Squad, who is probably my most loyal fan thus far on the channel. And they say, congrats man with 50 subs, thank you very much. And they have actually 3 questions. So, number 1, what's your favourite character from Arthur and the Minimoys? Number 2, what brought you up to this idea to make the videos? And number 3, where do you live? So, my favourite character. Now, there is a question later on that, basically someone asked me what my say differently, but if we're just talking about Arthur and the Minimoys specifically, Telescope, the travel agent, yeah, he's kind of funny, but okay, so I've literally been sitting here thinking for a couple of minutes now, trying to figure out what my favourite character from the first movie would be. And I'm going to have to say, I did okay, and they've also put greetings from the Netherlands, and I love your books and videos. Thank you very much. It's always great to see other people supporting me, considering the nature of the franchise and everything. I also apologise, Animation Fan Squad, that half the time my videos are blocked only in your country. I really, as I've stated in many videos, I really absolutely despise the YouTube copyright system, and I try to find ways around it. But the way I'm going right now, by putting copyright messages at the end of the videos and not just in the description, that seems to be working pretty well so far. So hopefully, if I keep doing that, that'll keep working. So, thanks for those questions, Animation Fan Squad. So now we move on to someone else who has also put 3 questions. Now Noli. I apologise if I completely butchered that name. But they have put 3 questions. So, question number 1, what do you like in Arthur and the Invisibles, in brackets, why do you like this movie, etc. Number 2, what is your favourite character? And number 3, do you think that this movie is for small kids, like 6+, or for older, 12+? People are always arguing about this. Okay, so question 1, what do I like in it? Well, it's always been one of those movies that I apologise if I completely butchered your name. So, the next question is by Ben, and he asks, do you think there will be a remake of all the movies for modern purposes? Now, when I first read this comment, I didn't really understand. Well, I did understand what it was for, but now reading it again, I kind of get what he was saying. Like does he think there's going to be a? Do I think there's going to be a remaster of all the movies? I'm not entirely sure. I suppose I've never really thought about that before. I've been so concerned with the franchise getting continued, I've never really thought about there ever being a remaster of the original movies. I think a remaster could be interesting, because obviously, you know, animation has been progressed so much now, and they could probably do it in such a more, I don't really want to say realistic, but that's really the only word that comes to mind. Not that the original movies weren't realistic. I think they could do it in a lot higher end animation, if that makes sense. I've never really, like I said, I've never really thought about that, but I really think that could be interesting. But of course, that brings the problem of it won't be the same actors, and therefore, you know, would it feel the same? And it's not, I was thinking about it, it's not really a movie that's, it's not really a franchise that's so old that it needs a remaster. Like, it sort of fits in that perfect spot. Like, in the early / late 2000s, where movies were at their peak at that time. Well, I say at that time, they're really at their peak now. I mean, yeah, you can get better cameras and better SFX, but it's not exactly like black and white. It doesn't really need a remaster. But in the future, I don't really see why we couldn't have a remaster when stuff is really progressing. I think that'd be really interesting. Leave your comments down below. What would you think of a remastered version of all of the movies? I think that would be kind of interesting. And our final question for today by Gmod Productions: what's your opinion on the animated series? What animated series? Okay, actually getting into it, well, I say getting into it, like doing research into it, it's kind of made me disappointed, because all you need to do is look on videos on YouTube about Arthur and the Invisibles, and I know there aren't many, but hopefully thanks to my channel there will be a lot more. But all you need to do is look on like Arthur and Selenia tributes. There's plenty that aren't by me, and just like the old trailers for the movies that came out like way back in like 2009. All you need to do is look on those videos, look at the comments, and you will know that the only thing people want for the franchise is for it to carry on, for the heroes we know to come back and have another adventure after Arthur 3. What the animated series has done has completely screwed over the franchise, because it's got rid of everything. Absolutely everything that was set up in at the end of Arthur 3. Like Darkos having redeemed himself, Malthazar like in the cup not being able to escape, and the most important factor for a lot of people, Arthur and Selenia's relationship. They've completely screwed that over. Now, there are a few episodes available on YouTube, not in English, so I had to use automatic English translate subtitles, which weren't that bad. I got a basic feel for what was happening in the episode. And I'm not gonna lie, it's not as bad as I originally gave it credit for, but it's just the idea of it. Like, it's not that the series itself is bad. Like, the episodes well, most of the episodes have a pretty good plot line, but it's just the fact that it's just started everything again. Like, that's not what we want. What we want is Arthur 4. Let's all just admit to that. That's all everyone wants. What we don't want is a weird, twisted reality where Arthur, for some reason, lives in the Seven Kingdoms when Malthazar and Darkos were still together, fighting alongside each other. It just makes no sense. Like, it just hurts. I can't understand. And of all the things, Luc Besson, the writer and director, the writer of the book and the director of the movies, he is the producer of the series. I don't know what the hell he was thinking. I've said this before, that I believe he's pretty much abandoned the fans, because I'm pretty certain a complete screw over of everything the franchise has done so far is not what we all wanted. But to give the episodes credit, they're not that bad. I just don't agree with the idea. However, I have to talk about one particular episode, and that is episode 7. Now, he uses the Sword of Power to make this cool looking flower that they both somehow think is pretty, even though it looks like a big blue cactus. And because he used the sword not for justice purposes and just to get around his own failure, which would never happen, the Sword of Power, basically, the blade turns into one of these flowers and the sword becomes completely unusable. And he lies to Selenia about having grown the flower for like weeks and put so much effort into it, and I just can't comprehend it. And on top of that, Miro and the king make the point that he is now, quote unquote, the boy who broke the prophecy. And that is, of course, the prophecy that refers to the Chosen One being able to remove the Sword of Power. And I just can't. That's not Arthur. That's not Arthur. That's never been Arthur. That's not what his character is. His character. I was gonna say his character wouldn't lie and would just apologise, but his character would never forget in the first place. And it just makes me angry that they've just screwed over so much. How do you screw over a franchise this badly? Oh. Right. So that's my opinion on the animated series. The episodes themselves and the what happens in them is not the thing that I have a problem with. I have a problem with the plot completely screwing over what we all like about the franchise. So, anyway, I'm gonna calm down now because that's made me very angry. I would like to thank the four of you for your questions. And if you didn't get a chance to leave a question and you would like to, then leave that down in the comments, because this is definitely not the last Q&A I want to do. Thank you again, Animation Fan Squad, Noli, again, I'm sorry, Ben and Gmod Productions for leaving your questions. It's highly appreciated. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and me ranting about the animated series. And I would also like to say thank you for 50 subscribers. It's not a lot, let's be honest with ourselves, but considering that it's Arthur and the Invisibles and it's a very subjective franchise to say the least, and I've been gaining subscribers pretty quickly now that I've actually been putting effort into the videos, I'm kind of surprised that we're actually progressing like this, and I'd just like to say thanks, because I probably wouldn't have carried on with this if it weren't for all of you guys supporting me. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching, everyone. Thanks for 50 subscribers, and here's to 100, I guess. And yeah. So, thanks a lot for watching, everyone, and I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye, guys.